Well, hello there. You may know this, you may not, but the little pet names that I call you guys at the beginning of videos, I pretty much just sit down and let whatever come out. And I almost just called you guys quarantine cuties, but I can't do it. So, hello friends. Welcome to today's video. I am going to be comparing the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, which I've had in my kit forever, with the new ColourPop Tinted Moisturizer. In some of my videos recently, I've talked about the Tinted Moisturizer from Laura Mercier and how I feel conflicted about it because it's not cruelty-free, and my goal with my kit and the makeup that I use in general is to find products that are all cruelty-free, at least, if not vegan. Also have an inclusive shade range, and also are not ridiculously priced. And that's surprisingly hard to do, especially because I almost just forgot one other important factor. It has to also be good, like a good product that I will realistically use for work and for myself. So lately I've been buying and trying things that are cruelty-free, have a good shade range, aren't a brand that I feel horrible supporting for some reason, are hopefully a really good product, and are not super expensive, to try to replace some of the things. So for example, today we're going to be doing, like I said, the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. That one is not cruelty-free, which is the reason why I'm like, it's also a little expensive. Next up, I'm going to try to find a replacement for the Kogan Do Aqua Foundation, which I've used forever in my kit. It's a great product. It's my favorite foundation, but it's so expensive. It's like $60 or $70. So hopefully I can replace some of these products and start using things that I feel a little better about using and definitely better about recommending. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to put the Laura Mercier on this side of my face and the ColourPop on this side of my face. And I'm going to start with the Laura Mercier and just talk a little bit about what I like about it and how I use it. So this is the shade Nude, and I usually like to apply it with my fingers. I forgot to mention that I already prepped my face with applying rosehip oil all over and giving it a little bit of time to sink into the skin. So as you can see, I like to apply that by building up the layers using kind of like a tapping and blending motion with my fingers. So now I'm just going to briefly talk about a few of the reasons why I like this tinted moisturizer so much and why it's been in my kit for so long. For one thing, I think it has the perfect amount of coverage for a tinted moisturizer. As you can see, it has significantly knocked down the redness in my acne. It's not covering it completely, it's a tinted moisturizer, but it took it down quite a bit. Everything looks really evened out, but if you were here in person, it doesn't look like I have anything on my face. Like you can't tell at all that I'm wearing any type of complexion product, which is really what I'm looking for from a tinted moisturizer. It just perfectly strikes that balance of evening things out, but it's imperceptible. So for reference, like, I like the Glossier skin tint and I like how it feels. However, it just does not have enough coverage to be like worth my time, in the sense of on my own face, I have enough issues that it's really not contributing much. And then also if I'm using it on somebody else's face, it just doesn't have enough like oomph. However, for people that have really nice skin but just want like the tiniest little bit of evening out, it is a really good product and I like the feel of it. Hi. Hello. So I would probably put the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer like right in the middle of a spectrum that's Glossier skin tint on one end and like a light coverage actual foundation on the other end. It's right in the middle where I want it to be. When it comes to the texture and the feel, if you've watched my channel at all, you know I abhor the feeling of makeup on my face, and I try to extend that to my clients as well. So I think it has a really good feeling. If you could see it when it was on the back of my hand here, it's not super duper thin or watery. It's not like a serum. You know, it holds its shape. It's got a texture and weight about like a mid-weight lotion. It doesn't feel particularly oily or shiny either. It has a nice just like hydrated skin finish, so that's also helpful for me at work and on myself. I don't have to worry about powdering it or putting a ton of moisturizer underneath it to have it blend well. I think it's just one of those products that has been around for a long time because a lot of care went into developing it. So those are the main reasons I like that product. Now I'm going to try the ColourPop on the other side. So I picked this up in two shades from Ulta's website, Light 5N and Light 8N. I've already played with this a little bit. I've worn it one time and I color matched it right away. Light 8N is a better fit for me. 5N is just a little bit too light, makes me look kind of washed out. I'll put the price and sunscreen comparisons in the description box because I definitely did not think to remember that information right now while I'm filming, and we have a limited amount of time before Caspian takes over. But I will say, I do know off the top of my head that the ColourPop Tinted Moisturizer is a lot cheaper. So I'm going to put 8N on the back of my hand. Oops, squirt, squirt, squirty, squirt. For color comparison, it's definitely a little more pink, whereas the Laura Mercier Nude is a little more yellow. But they're both within the realm of human color, which is nice and not always the case. As you can see, this is dripping whilst the Laura Mercier is still. Let's do this. This will be how I test out viscosity. So yeah, it's quite a bit runnier, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing to know. So I'm going to use my fingers again. Ooh, yes. I know I've already played with this once, but like I said, it was just the one time. So a couple observations. I do build up the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer on my face when I apply it. I don't just do like one layer. I kind of tap and press in a few layers. This is just one layer of ColourPop, so it does seem like the base formula has a little more pigment in it. I like it. I'm noticing that on the back of my hand, both of them do oxidize a little bit, which is pretty typical of tinted moisturizers. And the difference in the Laura Mercier being more yellow while the ColourPop is more pink is exacerbated by the oxidation. So this ColourPop is getting more pink, whereas this is getting more yellow. And I do prefer the color of the Laura Mercier shade. This just looks like that kind of salmon color that I absolutely hate, but is just so popular amongst foundation shades for some reason. But it's not terrible, and because it's a tinted moisturizer, it's not super noticeable. Like, I'm not really seeing it on my face that much. I'm now just feeling my face to get a sense of like how the product feels. The ColourPop has a little more of like a tackiness to it, whereas the Laura Mercier is a little softer feeling. It's pretty similar though. I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup, see how things layer on top of them and how they feel as they start to set a little bit, and then give some thoughts. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, I want to say, that I'm also testing out for one of these videos. The concealer blended pretty much the same on both sides. Now I'm going to use this Alori collection brush with the Salt New York bronzer, Sculpt and Bronze in. I'm mixing light and light medium together. Press that onto the ColourPop side. It's blending nicely. I'm just tapping light and light medium together. Sometimes when a formula is kind of like thinner and wetter, you know, it can pick up when you try to layer things on top of it, but it's not doing that. So that's good. And I'm going to see how fingers layer with it, and I'm going to apply the Salt New York highlight in Beige. And I'm going to use this e.l.f. brush and the Salt New York Lip and Cheek Tint in Rose. And tap that onto my cheekbone. Yeah, it's taking that really well also. Okay, so that all blended really comparably on both sides, which matters a lot to me just because whether it's on myself or on a client, I do have to put other things on top usually. I also feel like the tackiness went down a little bit as it set, and now they feel pretty similar on both sides. So I'm going to just finish off the rest of my makeup and then circle back. All right, my closing thoughts are that I really like it so much, and I'm so excited because I don't know if you watched it. You're my best friend too. I don't know if you saw one of my videos recently, but I had kind of like frustrated feelings about still not having found a replacement for the Laura Mercier because it's not cruelty free. So I'm super stoked. I would say, technically speaking, if I'm splitting hairs, I do still prefer the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. I think the color's a little more natural. I prefer the texture a little bit. However, the differences are pretty slight, and not only is the ColourPop much cheaper for pretty much the same overall effect, but it's also cruelty free, so I'm very happy about that. I do think the finish feels a little different. It's still a little tackier. It became less noticeable as it set, but if you look at on the back of my hand, I still had some remnants. It does look pinker, and it feels grippier, tackier, but because it's a tinted moisturizer, it's much less noticeable that those differences are there. If this had more coverage and was a foundation, I would probably still be preferring the Laura Mercier, but because it's such a light amount of product, it's really not a big deal. So I'm really excited because I think, you know, on camera, these look pretty much exactly the same, and in person, it looks pretty much the same as well. So yay, excellent job, ColourPop, in my opinion. Again, I'll put the exact difference in price and in sunscreen amount in the description box. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked this video, and like this video if you did not like this video. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Kiki Makeup. Let me know in the comments what types of videos you want to see. I'm going to continue to try to make them with this little nugget right here quarantined with me doing armpit sounds. Are you gonna come say hi again? Well, we've about reached our expiration of how long we have before start having that happen. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon, whenever the next time we could make this happen is. Okay, bye.